All right, let us be quiet, please.
Before I start, I want to read something to you all. A carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean were all put in hot water, set to boil for 20 minutes. Did they come out the same as they went in, or did they change? Ask yourself, which one are you? A carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? Am I the carrot that seems strong, but with pain and adversity, do I wilt and become soft and lose my strength? Am I the egg that starts with a fixed heart, but changes with the heat? Do I have a fluid spirit, but after death, a breakup, or a financial hardship, or some other trial, have I become hardened and stiff? Does my shell look the same, but on the inside am I bitter and tough, with a stiff spirit and a hardened heart? Or am I like the coffee bean? The bean actually changes the hot water. The very circumstance that brings the pain, when the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and flavor of your life. If you are like the bean, when things are their worst, you get better and change the situation around you. When the hours are the darkest and trials are their greatest, do you elevate to another level? How do you handle adversity? Are you changed by your surroundings, or do you bring life flavor to them? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? The title of my message is Transition to Change. There are many things in life that we do not understand. There have been circumstances and situations that have left us speechless and asking God why. Somewhere in between the misunderstandings and the moments of asking God why, we get stuck on the unknown. After all the reunion meetings, the various telephone calls, the text messages, the headaches, the many ideas, and the moments of wanting to quit, God began to show me why so many of us rob ourselves of life opportunities. One of the most profound things God spoke to me was the inability to accept change. The inability to accept change will stop anything like the flow of blood circulating through the body. Change is so critical to our lives that it can be parallel to the flow of blood through the body. It's not that we do not know what to do or what needs to be done. It's making a decision to do it and carry it through until we see manifestation. Change means to alter the state of or to cause to be different. Why do we reject change? Why is change so intimidating? Why do we expect others to change, yet we think our character is perfect? If change is making a difference, why are so many of us stuck where we are? When this year first came in, we were all blown away by some unexpected news. We learned that Orlando Sylvia Walker, who we had not heard from or seen in many years, had passed away in Florida in 2007. It was during this time that we began to reconnect with loved ones, some closer than we could ever imagine, and some many miles away. After having to process such changes, we all learned one of our eldest family members, Barbara Worthy, was incarcerated. Shortly after this experience, we experienced a brief period of illness with Deborah King. We found ourselves standing by her bedside, praying, laughing, loving her more, all the while God healed her body. It was a long 3 weeks, but faith brought her through it. While many of you may disagree with the fact that I am using names to paint a picture, I feel it extremely necessary. I am not above using myself to also make a point.
Talk to us. Talk to us. You can do this.
Two years ago, I was a wife ago, I was a wife. Today, I am a single mother and divorced. What is my point, you ask? Sometimes in life, what appears is the direct result of change. Will change always feel good? Absolutely not. Change is often uncomfortable and carries extreme persecution. Change is not for everyone, to understand. Change is for deliverance. How change is perceived depends solely on the individual analyzing the change. While many of you may view the events of this year as heartbreak, I see them all as opportunities of change. Somewhere in Sylv's heart was a feeling of hopelessness. Somewhere in Aunt Bob's heart was a feeling of hopelessness. Somewhere in Aunt Dale's body was a feeling of sickness fighting to be whole again. Don't ever allow an opportunity for change to die in your hands. What is in your life is a direct result of what is in your heart and what is coming out of your mouth. Change can be tough, yet easy to resist. Change can be painful, yet healing in the midst. Change can be embraced or rejected over and over again. But what we do not realize is change is a must even when understanding doesn't kick in. Change represents growth. It does not stop because we stop. Change includes the renewing of your mind and knowing that even if I miss it on the first attempt, God is a good God of a second chance. Change has the ability to erase our past and open new doors for our future. Change can be burying a loved one, yet giving birth to a baby boy. Change can be getting laid off from a job after 20 years, yet graduating college at the age of 60. Change can be divorced after 30 years, yet remarrying and feeling 30 years old again. Change is knowing that when a baby has grown into an adult and can no longer drink milk for a full-course meal. There are going to be moments in life when what appears before you seems as if it will never change. How you face that moment will depend upon how you accept or reject change. Everything around you is changing, but what makes the difference is when everything inside isn't changing. Regardless of what you may believe, it's not always the other person. One of the things you will find out about God is He shows you. He shows you you before He shows you anyone else. If you want to see change, you change. The tide is turning, and what seems so important will one day be a distant memory. How will people say you changed? Will it be said that your inability to embrace change destroyed your life? Or will it be said that change defined who you are? It's not that change is intimidating, but rather people fear rejection and the unknown. When you find that you are stuck where you are, it is a direct result of you not accepting where you are headed. It's a new day. God has raised up a new generation and provided a new vision. That vision is embracing the transition of change. Even if yesterday wasn't fulfilled today, yesterday wasn't fulfilled, today can produce a change. Our inabilities on God's capabilities allows the ability of change to be produced and performed in our lives.